Oh, frolics, it cometh next week. The Bunkhouse Stampede, NAWA Bunkhouse Stampede. But before we get there, we have some rather good wrestling. Now, it's episode 380. Holy Christ! As Michael Elliott would tell us. He's there with Curtis Robertson, the throwback. Nice to hear them both together. I don't now miss Josh Paul Sellers. I did before. I don't now. They're really working well together. And you know that, as I've said many times, over the years I've decried and rather denigrated this promotion, but I've kept faith with it, and it's really grabbed me. Really makes me feel as though I'm in a bit of a family, and they do talk to me, which is great. Now, I'm even this week telling you that a George South match, he's the Carolinas champion, first Carolinas champion for the NAWA, a George South match is enjoyable. I really admire George South, but the time he's taken and the independence and all of that and the training he's done, and whenever he has an opponent, a younger opponent, of course, he will have trained them. And that's the case this week. But generally, I'm not delighted with his matches because they do happen to be a little bit slower, perhaps, than they're bound to be. And they happen to be a little bit, not rudimentary, but repetitive. And that's the case this week. And I didn't mind so much. It's weaving its magic on me, is NAWA. But first of all, let's talk about his opponent. It's Guy Tonight. Tonight, you know it's Guy Tonight, and he'll be talking to Jordan Holt. He will. Jordan Holt wants to be called the Untouchable. Now, that's going to be difficult if you're going to have a wrestling match, because you will need to tie up at some point, unless you're going to just walk around the ring for about 20 minutes. Well, he's got George South tonight, and George South trained him. He trained him, yes. So, sound like Frankie Howard then. He trained him. Yes, he did. And that's a UK phrase, really, a UK comment, really. Unless some of you across the pond know of Frankie Howard. If you do, well, blooming done. But before we get there, we've got the Frat Pack of Allentown. That's not going to catch on. It's too long. Frat Pack sounds good. The Frat Pack of Allentown. It's Steve Allen and Mason Allen, with Justin Kindred Allen. I don't know where Robert Allen was. He might have been in the toilet. I don't know. Maybe he was passing a difficult stool. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm not saying he was. But anyway, the Frat Pack of Allentown just does not. I mean, you would never get it on a marquee. I mean, Moonshine Express, that's fine. BNB, the big nasty bastard, and Dusty Money, the Hellacious Hillbilly, or something of that nature. That is good on a marquee. But the Frat Pack of Allentown, anyway, it is quite... I've not been massively laudatory about BNB either, actually. The whole thing works this week. Blimey, am I becoming nicer in my old age? Maybe I am. But you've got Moonshine Express messing a bit with the Frat Pack, and really taking so much trouble over that they miss Mason coming behind BNB and taking his knee out. Steve is then on BNB's back. He's dumped over the front. There's a slam and a fist drop. He does that well, you know. Nasty spike, Dusty Money DDT. Really nasty. And a fast three amigos suplexes. Yep. There is a Moonshine Express double elbow. It's all Moonshine Express at the moment, isn't it? A rake to the eyes. There is no good defence, Michael Elliott. No good defence for a rake to the eyes. Apart from your patented Steve Swift eye defenders. These gloriouses. See? I can't get in. There you go. That's what you do. Anyway, there's a rake to the eyes from Steve. Mason can't tag in. He's desperate to do that. Desperate to tag in. Yeah. There's an armbar from the big nasty bastard. Dusty's off the top. Double axe handle onto that arm, which, you know, it's an old school wrestling move and I like it. There's a suplex and a head crank, and then a suplex and a slam, and a lovely springboard leg drop from Dusty Money. Really nicely done, actually. Justin's there on the apron. Holy Christ, for a big boot. And there are many Steve splashes after that. Steve Allen splashes, many. All the way from Allentown to the ring. Yes. I got my notes here, you see. Then the big nasty boar stood. Pie faces Mason from the apron and gets an enziguri for his trouble. You shouldn't have bothered, BMB. Shouldn't have bothered. Just keep drinking the shine and don't bother with that. Then Justin Money's back with some punchlines. Not a punch, not a clothesline. A punchline. Some mounted punches in the corner. A tilt-a-whirl Rana, Hurricane Rana. But then he falls to a Mason buckle bomb, which is really rather nice, actually. Steve catches Dusty Money, gets a German suplex, it's lovely. But Money's back with a rather nasty-looking crossbody. And then BMB gets the hot tag. Here he is. Don't go messing with the country boy, etc., etc. A nice atomic drop, inverted atomic drop, as Michael Elliott tells us, holy Christ, tells us, into a Dusty Money springboard drop kick, which is lovely. Justin then Kindred Allen uses the cast on the back of BMB's head from the apron, and Mason, because he's got that big old head, I mean, it's about 4 foot wide, he's got a flying headbutt for the pin. Now, I think that flying headbutt covered all of BMB's body, I reckon. And they get the pin. It was a cheap pin, but they got it. It was all their own. Now, here's George South in with Guy Tonight. Tonight. And he says he comes back with the belt every week. And he does. He finds a way to win. He promises a fight, and they have one. Now, let me tell you what happens here. I didn't mind, but there's a George South headlock. It's worked. Jordan Holt pushes him off. Back to a George South headlock. Shoulder block from South that he wants a pin from. There's a George South headlock. Jordan Holt takes George South down. Misses an elbow drop. There's a George South headlock. A George South hip toss. Oh, a headlock takedown. And a George South headlock. And I didn't mind this, folks. Then Jordan Holt tries a shoulder tackle. Gets put down and hurts his shoulder from it. And then there's a George South headlock. Now, it's not a bad match. It's not a terrible match. And in the end, you get the Wahoo McDaniel. The Tommy Hawk chop, as Bob Coddle often called it, the Tommy Hawk chop. And he will win. He will win. He will get that. You get the flying forearm. By the way, there is some some talk from Curtis after they trade sleepers, and there's a Jordan Holt abdominal stretch. He's holding onto the ropes. Curtis says, I think he's doing that just for balance. Yeah. He gets a drop kick. He's got a good drop kick, Jordan Holt, for a 2 count. They do trade sleepers into a Jordan Holt headlock with George South fading a little. And then I do like Curtis Robertson. George South is surrendering more than a Frenchman right now. Bloody hell. I didn't expect that, to be honest. Yeah, there's the Wahoo chop. He ties up Jordan Holt's legs. And what Michael Elliott does is he does a really good job because he really pushes this. He could be trying the Indian deathlock and ask Curtis, you can't get out of that. But he's not really trying anything. He doesn't really get anything in. And then Jordan Holt tries something, because Jordan pulled his hair to get out of that, by the way. Tries a spinning toe hold, which makes Michael Elliott talk about Dory Funk Jr. versus Gene Kaliski. That's great. And George South, as I said, gets the flying forearm for the pin and returns with the belt. It was all right. Jordan Holt did very well in that match. George South was George South, and I really didn't mind it. My God, I've fallen for the NAWA, and I like it. Ta-ta.